I'm Gnosis. Welcome to your daily tarot reading for the 27th of January 2021. First card is the Eight of Cups. Second card is the Sun. Third card is the King of Swords. Fourth card is the Third of Wands. And your final card is the King of Wands. So your first card is the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is one of the more interesting of the minor arcana cards, representing turning one's back, leaving something behind. This card reminds me of when you see in movies when a ship is sinking and the crew are throwing things overboard to lighten the load of the ship. That's what the Eight of Cups represents to me. You giving up some addiction, some obsession, something that has not been working in your life. Maybe a relationship or turning your back on a toxic job. And of course these things usually require a lot of courage. But the result has been that it's brought you happiness. It's brought you peace of mind. Perhaps a happiness and peace of mind that you have not experienced for a long time. You've traded the sorrow of the moon for the joy of the sun. Now you have the King of Swords in your unconscious position. I'm thinking that the King of Swords in this context is perhaps a residue of this first card. There's a fear connected with this giving up as represented by the Eight of Cups. So what are the negative qualities associated with the King of Swords? Well, I always think of the King of Swords as being a very lonely figure. Someone that clings to a fixed idea, someone that believes in order, somebody that has to hold back the tides of chaos. So perhaps you're afraid that making this decision, although bringing you happiness, is going to leave you feeling isolated, is going to leave you feeling alone. Perhaps you've had to walk away from previous friends and acquaintances that were toxic, and your fear now is that you'll be ostracized, that you'll be an island, so to speak. Now at the end of your reading you have another king, you have the King of Wands. So what's the difference between the King of Wands and the King of Swords? Well, the King of Swords is ideological and the King of Wands is about passion. So to go from a potentially isolated state to one where perhaps both cards represent autonomy, but a different kind of autonomy. Autonomy personified by the King of Wands is more likely to give you joy in life. And in between these two cards you have the Three of Wands. So at some point you realise that there is a negative side effect from this decision that you've made. Overall, I'm sure it has been a positive decision. But to offset the side effects of this decision, you have embarked on a project. You're just at the beginning of your project. You've already set out on the way. So there's a lot of turning in this reading. There's a lot of turning one's back with your first card and with your fourth card. So perhaps you turn your back twice. Perhaps you turn your back on this habit or this way of doing things that's been toxic to you. And in the fourth position, Three of Wands possibly represents your turning away from the King of Swords, which is possibly a residue or a consequence of this important decision that you've made. But this reading goes to show that even though you have big changes at the beginning of your reading, your journey isn't complete just yet. But I think having a King of Wands at the end of your reading, a card representing autonomy, representing happiness, overall makes this a very positive reading. And not only do you have the Sun, you have the King of Wands. So the challenges personified by your reading, you're definitely aware of them, and you're taking control of your life for the better. I'm Gnosis. That was your daily tarot reading for the 27th of January 2021, and I hope you join me next time.